Welcome again, students. This is Biology Form 4, new chapter, Chapter 14, Support and Movement in Humans and Animals. The first subtopic 14.1, Types of Skeletons. Skeletal system provides support to humans and also animals. So there are three types of skeletons. The first one, exoskeleton, second one, endoskeleton, and the third one, hydrostatic skeleton. So these are types of skeleton, three types of skeletons. The necessity of skeletal system in animal and humans. Human and animals needs the skeletal system to enable them to move from one place to another, to search for food, partners, or to escape from predators and threats. Most multicellular organisms need support because of their soft body tissues. So the exoskeleton found in insects and crabs support and protect their body organs and enable these animals to move. Animals with soft tissue such as earthworms need the hydrostatic skeleton to maintain a rigid body shape, and the endoskeleton function to maintain body shape, support soft body tissues, and protect internal organs from injury. So these are the three types of skeleton: hydrostatic skeleton in earthworm, exoskeleton in grasshopper, and endoskeleton in human. 14.2, Musculoskeletal systems of human. The human skeletal system is made up of axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. The axial skeleton comprises the skull, the vertebral column, ribs, and the sternum. This is the breastbone, tulang di tengah dada kita. Okay. Then the second one, appendicular skeleton, includes the pectoral girdle, pelvic girdle, and upper and lower limbs. This figure shows human skeletal system. Okay, this is for axial skeleton, and this is the appendicular skeleton. So this one, skull, the rib cage consists of ribs and also the sternum, the pectoral girdle, clavicle, this is clavicle, and scapula, this is scapula. This is humerus, here ulna, radius, carpus, metacarpals, and this is the phalanges. This is the upper limb. Okay, and then here pelvic girdle consists of ilium, the pubis, and the ischium. And this is the vertebral column, okay, tulang belakang. And for lower limb consists of femur, patella, sini ya, tibia, fibula, tarsals, metatarsals, and phalanges. So these are human vertebral column, okay, tulang belakang. The vertebrae on different parts of the vertebral column differ in size and shape. Each vertebra has an opening known as neural canal. The spinal cord is located in the neural canal. Okay, kalau kita lihat di sini, okay, ini adalah tulang belakang. Ia ada beberapa bahagian. Okay, di sini cervical vertebrae ada 7 Okay, 7. Thoracic vertebrae, this one, thoracic vertebrae ada 12 12. The lumbar vertebrae consists of 5 here. Sacrum, this is sacrum, and caudal. Okay, we will go into detail one by one. So each vertebra has an opening known as neural canal. So this is neural canal, opening di sini, neural canal. So di sini the spinal cord is located in the neural canal. So we go to the thoracic vertebrae. Okay, so this is thoracic vertebrae, consists of neural canal. Di sini adalah transverse process. Di sini adalah facet. This is articulation with the vertebra above it, tempat perlekatan tulang belakang di atas. Okay, and this is the centrum. This is the facet. articulation with the ribs. Okay, ini adalah satu permukaan untuk perlekatan dengan ribs. Okay, so thoracic vertebrae possess a long spinous process. This one, spinous process. Spinous and transverse processes serve as attachment sites for muscles and ligaments. The transverse process, except on the 11th and 12th thoracic vertebrae. So di sini ya, thoracic vertebrae ada 12 kecuali yang ke-11 dan yang ke-12. Okay, transverse process have facet for articulation with the ribs. So di sini daripada 1 sampai 7 ini adalah cervical vertebrae. Okay, and then we have lumbar vertebrae. Di sini ya, 5. Dia ada 5 tulang. Lumbar vertebrae here. This is the biggest and strongest vertebrae. Possess a short spinous process. Okay, this is the spinous process, short. Possess a large centrum. Okay, this one, large centrum, to bear the weight of the lower back of the body. Okay, sama juga dia ada neural canal. Okay, ada transverse process, right? And then sacral vertebrae. Di sini ya, sacrum. 5 vertebrae fuse together to form a triangular bone. Okay, dia sebenarnya terdiri daripada 5 vertebrae, tetapi dia fuse together and then dia form a triangular bone. Okay, this one is the process for articulation with the last lumbar vertebrae. Okay, and this one, nampak ni, the macam lubang-lubang ni kan, the passage for nerves and blood vessel. And then di sini last one, this is caudal vertebrae. Okay, di sini caudal vertebrae. 4 bone fused together to form a triangular structure which is pointed at one end. Okay, pointed at one end. Ini adalah caudal vertebrae. Atlas vertebrae. The first cervical vertebrae. Okay, atlas vertebrae. This is the first cervical vertebra. This one ini ya, cervical vertebrae. The first one is the atlas vertebra. The vertebra has a large neural canal. Okay, this one, neural canal. A small spinous process. A pair of transverse foramina. Okay, sepasang. But no centrum. Okay, ingat atlas ini no centrum. The vertebra articulates with the skull. Ini adalah articulate with tengkorak kepala. Okay, the skull. And then axial vertebrae. This is the second cervical vertebra. Second di sini, second cervical vertebrae. The axial vertebrae has a large spinous process, small transverse process, and a pair of transverse foramina. Large spinous process, this one, large spinous process, small transverse process, this one, and a pair of transverse foramina also di sini ya, pair. It has an odontoid process di sini, odontoid process that articulates with the facet of the atlas vertebra neural canal. Cervical vertebrae possess a short spinous process, small centrum, wide and short transverse process, and a pair of transverse foramina. Yang ini. So ini adalah yang seterusnya. Okay, maksudnya yang ketiga sampai yang ketujuh. Okay, cervical vertebrae daripada yang ketiga sampai yang ketujuh adalah dia punya properties adalah seperti ini. Okay, dia ada short spinous process, small centrum, wide and short transverse process, and a pair of transverse foramina. Di sini ya, a pair of transverse foramina. So based on the characteristics shown, can you compare and contrast the different vertebrae? What are the differences between lumbar and thoracic vertebrae, and what are the characteristics found on cervical vertebrae but not found on other vertebrae? So we will go into the similarity and differences between vertebrae. Similarity: all vertebrae have spinous and transverse processes, have centrum except atlas vertebrae. Dia tiada centrum. Okay, and all vertebrae have neural canal. Okay, the difference between vertebrae: for cervical vertebrae, short spinous processes; thoracic, long spinous processes; lumbar, short spinous process. Cervical vertebrae, wide and short transverse process; thoracic, long transverse process; lumbar, short transverse process. Cervical vertebrae, small centrum; This one medium-sized centrum, this one large centrum. Cervical, a pair of transverse foramina. This one no transverse foramina, this one also no transverse foramina. So ini perbezaan di antara vertebrae, tulang-tulang belakang. How are these bones joined together to form a skeleton? Bones are too rigid to be bent without breaking. Flexible connective tissue form joint that hold the bones together. Okay, so that the movement can take place. So we will learn about different kind of joint. So di sini joint sendi-sendi. Joints are point where two or more bones meet, or cartilage and bones meet. So most joints allow the bones to move relative to each other. Different types of joints allow different types of movement. And the joints are divided into three types. Namely, the first one, immovable joints. Second one, slightly movable joints. And third one, freely movable joints. Examples of immovable joints. Example, suture at the cranium of the skull. Okay, di sini ya, suture. Ini adalah di tengkorak kepala. Ini adalah joint di mana dia memang immovable. Okay, and slightly movable joint, for example, cartilage disc between the vertebrae and cartilage between the first rib and sternum. Okay, this is the cartilage disc between the vertebrae, and also between the first rib and the sternum we have cartilage here. And freely movable joints, for example, hinge joint and ball and socket joint. Okay, this one, freely movable joint. The ball and socket joint and hinge joint are two examples of freely movable joints that allow free movement. The general structure of a freely movable joint and functions of its parts are shown in this figure. This is the bone. The capsule, this is the capsule. This is fibrous tissue that encloses and provide protection to the joint. And these are the cartilage. Okay, the cartilage serves as a cushion to the joint, absorb shocks and reduce friction between bone ends. The cartilage also protects the bones from wearing out. And this is the synovial membrane. Okay, this synovial membrane secretes synovial fluid into the synovial cavity. So inside here are the synovial fluid that serves as a lubricant that reduces the friction between the ends of the bone. Two types of freely movable joints, ball and socket joint and hinge joint. So this one, the first one, ball and socket joint. The ball and socket joint allow rotation movement in all directions. Okay, all directions. It allows the arm and leg to swing in a circular motion. So examples of ball and socket joints are shoulder joints between humerus and pectoral girdle, and hip joint between femur and pelvic girdle. So this is femur, this is pelvic girdle. So ball and socket joint maksudnya kita punya tulang itu boleh rotate in all direction. So cuba kamu rotate your shoulder joint and also your hip joint. Kita boleh rotate dia in all direction. So itu kita panggil ball and socket joint. Untuk yang kedua, hinge joint only allow the movements of bones in one plane only. Okay, one plane only. For example, knee joint allows the lower leg to swing back and forth. Okay, similar to a hinge on a door. Sebab itu dia dipanggil hinge joint. The hinge joint can also be found at the elbow and phalanges of our fingers and toes. Okay, if this is femur, this is fibula, tibia. So yang ini adalah dia punya movement itu adalah one plane only. Okay, coba goyangkan kamu punya kaki. Okay, knee joint itu kita hanya boleh allow our leg to swing back and forth. Okay, begitu juga kita punya elbow. Okay, cuma boleh gerakan back and forth. Kita tidak boleh gerakan dia 360 darjah in all directions. So itu kita panggil hinge joint. So apart from joints and bones, support and movement also depend on skeletal muscle, tendon and ligament. Skeletal muscle here comprises bundles of muscle fibers with a large supply of nerves and blood vessels. The muscle work in pairs and act in opposite direction. That is, if one muscle contracts and the other muscle will relax, and vice versa. These types of muscles are known as antagonistic muscles. Remember, antagonistic muscles mean one muscle contract, the other one must relax. Okay? The bicep and triceps are examples of antagonistic muscles. The muscle that strengthens the limb, when it contract, it called extensor. Okay, ingat apabila kita mau meluruskan tangan, okay, itu muscle kita panggil sebagai extensor. Okay, muscle itu yang akan contract. Okay, for example, triceps. Triceps. The muscle that bend our limbs when it contracts called flexor. Okay, for example, a flexor, biceps. Alright. So tendon. Skeletal muscle sudah, this one is tendon. Tendon connects bone and muscle. Ingat bone and muscle, tendon. Tendon consists of strong fibers, not elastic but flexible. And then the third one, ligament. Ligament connect bone to bone. Okay, tendon tadi bone to muscle, ligament bone to bone. Bones are held together at the joint by the ligament, which consists of strong, elastic, and tough connective tissue bundles. The ligament provides support and strength to joint and allow bones to be bent at the joints. So kalau kita lihat figure ini, skeletal muscle, tendon dan ligament. So ini skeletal muscle. Contoh bicep, tricep. Okay, dan dia adalah antagonistic. Okay, this is tendon. Tendon connect bone to muscle. Okay, this is muscle, this is bone. So tendon yang connect bone to muscle. And then we have ligament here. Ligament connect bone to bone. Right? Okay, so that's all for today. We will continue next subtopic in next video. Thank you.